Yeah, that's great to hear how money was a driving factor in your life and how the so many ups and downs and how you stayed persistent and resilient in those moments. It's great to hear
Mhm.
about those experiences. I do want to know more about your Vietnamese heritage. Do you feel connected to your Vietnamese heritage or culture?
Yeah, yeah. I do. I think that it's grown up. I think that I'm my because my whole relative is here. We have gathering every year, like đám giỗ, the death anniversary of my grandfather or my grandmother. Every year we gather up and we celebrate. It's like a family gathering. So we know family values from the traditional family value from the Asian. We are very close family tie. So every I think every March we would go to visit all the dead people from in Oak Hill. It's called Thanh Minh, and that's when we go from one grave to another grave to visit them and cleaning up. That's one of the heritage that we carry with us. Another thing is sắm dỗ. Every year, every death anniversary, all of us would gather up at one house and eat and talk and remember. Um, on New Year, we would dress up, we would decorate the house like you've been to my house when New Year, right? We decorated the Vietnamese style, and we wear the áo dài, the Vietnamese cultural dress, and we would go from one house to another house to greet. You say Happy New Year and get the red envelope, and um, and every autumn festival, like the mid the autumn festival, we would buy the moon cake and give it to the relative. That's carrying on the heritage so that we don't forget. Every new year, the younger generation would buy something for the older generation. My dad would receive a lot of things from my cousin, like bánh tét, flowers, food, moon cake. Every occasion they would bring something for my dad, and I would bring something to my uncle. It's carrying on the cultural and tradition, the heritage. And so I think that all my kids have seen that, and I think that they would keep that traditional things going on after I'm not here. I think because they see how things were done. They live with me all their life, so they would know, that every time New Year come, what is expected there of them. They have to clean the house, they have to clean up the room. Normally they can be messy, but when it's New Year, let's clean up the house, let's clean up the room. You don't sweep the house on the first of the New Year. You don't cook, you don't do anything. All you do is enjoy on the first of the New Year. You don't sweep the house, you don't clean up, you don't do anything. And before the New Year begin, you have to take a shower. So you don't shower on the first of the New Year. Things like that. Those are the traditional ways.
And how do you feel about the current state of Vietnam and the way the war is remembered?
I guess that the people in Vietnam forgot the war and the impact before and after already. All the people who cares have already left. The people back in Vietnam right now are the people who, this is just my thinking, my my feelings only, that they don't care. They just say, okay, life before Vietnam, they don't know. Life after Vietnam, this is the life after the war, and they're living it and they're okay with it. They don't know how it was like before. The people who knows the different left Vietnam already or have passed, because it was like years ago, right? They're old now. They just die. Either they die or they move out. They move to America. They migrate to a freedom country already. So I don't think the people in Vietnam knows or care that much. The people over here, I think that they still care, but they think that there's nothing that they can do. Over there, they just bribery everything. For me, if you ask me if I would ever consider going back and live in Vietnam, because people say, oh, you should move back and live in Vietnam. If you make that certain money, like if you retire And if you have like $1,000 a month, you would live like a king and a queen over in Vietnam, because you would hire people for cheap labor, and then they would do everything for you. It's very good life over there. But I would never consider going back to Vietnam, because there's a lot of reason why not to move back there. First, the healthcare system sucks over there. You have money, they bring you to the hospital, they treat you. They don't have money, they let you die in the hallway. I have a few cousins who don't have money to pay for the upfront. They let them die in the hallway. So the healthcare system in Vietnam is terrible. You got money, you get a service. You don't have money, you die in the hallway. Second, if you do business, you have to write people. You don't have money for the local officer. They have people coming over and then creating all kinds of problems for you. So whatever you do, you have to bribe. So all your money gone away. Everything is bribery. Third, the people in Vietnam are not very honest right now. All they care is money. They don't have like a um, let's say kindness anymore. I think they're very materialistic right now. You know, they don't have the good and value anymore. I don't think so. All they care is that when I come to Vietnam, all they care is come over, to see if we give out some money. And that's it. They ask for money. They keep asking for money, asking for money. They don't think that, okay, I come back to visit and let's go have tea, and just be like that. Vietnamese, we come over from another country, everybody come over. All they want is gift and money, or gift and money. That's it. So I don't like the the way that the people behave in Vietnam, at least from the people that I have to deal with when I first visit. The only time I visit Vietnam. Anyway, so that's my thought on it. I will not go back and live there. And I don't think that way would change unless there's some huge happening. If all the people in Vietnam, the government people died, and some of us over here is willing to come back there and change totally 100%, then maybe life would be different. But right now, it's not. The rich would get richer and the poor would get poorer over there.